Hello, hello. Good morning. So, out here in Campbell River at my brother's place, my brother Bob. Heard me speak to my brother Bob, and I'm happy to be here. So I'm kind of out in his back area. It's beautiful, beautiful morning. Um, I've been reading. We've been reading from the daily reflections, and there's so much good stuff in this. And if you're in the recovery program, I don't care what recovery program, 12 step though, this is a great little book for you. It has some just super content about each month, about each step. So in January we kind of start with step one, and here we are now in August. So the reading this month is mostly related to step eight. And step eight is made a list of people we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And we're cleaning up the mess, cleaning up the wreckage of the past. And sometimes, I relate more because there was times in my recovery when I wasn't very on the beam. God knows how I stayed sober. And some of you who have long-term recovery will relate to this. And so I've had to go back and clean up some messes I made in recovery. And I'm still doing that. It's a, yeah, the grace of God only. Because if you're an addict or an alcoholic, you know that we are powerless. Our crazy minds end up taking us back to the drugs or the booze, and or whatever the addiction might be. Some of us have turned to food, and food can be a tough one, and or relationships, all to escape the moment. And um, you know, I'm an alcoholic, and have alcoholism, but alcohol was, not my problem. Alcohol was my solution when I was younger, because life was so really unbearable in my crazy mind. And my problem was selfishness and self-centeredness. And I was sure that the world was about me and everything was wrong and people were against me, and I had to look after myself, and all of those things that come from the disease, the thinking of the disease. So this is the process of coming out of that into a spiritual awakening in step 12. And the spiritual awakening, we do get lifted up, but there's more to come. Fourth dimension, baby. Here we go. August 16th. It's titled, I Had Dropped Out. I had dropped out. And the reading is from the 12 and 12, page 80. It says, we might next ask ourselves, excuse me, those are great. We might next ask ourselves what we mean when we say that we have harmed other people. What kinds of harm do people do one another anyway? To define the word harm in a practical way, we might call it the result of instincts in collision, which cause physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual damage to people. Instincts in collision, which cause physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual damage to people. When Bill wrote the 12 and 12, Bill Wilson wrote the 12 and 12, he talked a lot about instincts. And yes, and we're rising above those instincts. In the commentary on that writing from the 12 and 12, it said, I had been to 8-step meetings, always thinking, I really haven't harmed many people. I really haven't harmed many people, mostly myself. But the time came when I wrote my list out, and it was not as short as I thought it would be. I either liked you, disliked you, or needed something from you. It was that simple. People hadn't done what I wanted them to do, and intimate relationships were out of hand because my partner's unreasonable demands. Were these sins of omission? Because of my drinking, I had dropped out, never sending cards, returning calls, being there for other people, or taking part in their lives. What a grace it has been to look at these relationships, to make these inventories in quiet. What a grace it has been to look at these relationships, to make these inventories in quiet, alone with the God of my understanding, and to go forth daily with the willingness to be honest and forthright in my relationships. Isn't that funny, eh? Relationships. Mostly, I don't know about you, but mostly I never knew really how to be in a relationship because, you know, it was either I liked you or I didn't like you. I was trying to get something, you know, and I didn't know how to be just there and care and love. And, it's been like a lifetime learning how to care for people and you know, pay attention and just love them. So yeah, these are good. Every morning this is very, you know, helps with reflection. It helps us to see ourselves. You know, we need the mirror, and this book is a great little mirror for us to see, you know, ourselves, because we're often very unconscious. I can be very unconscious, and as a, you know, alcoholic in early recovery or at any time, my thinking tends to go to, and has, you know, left without, you know, doing my spiritual tools, to what about me? What about me? So this is the deal, and my contract in the third step was, how can I serve thee? How can I make a difference? How can I go to work for God? So this is it. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Tinda. That's awesome. Appreciate your comment. So yeah, here we are. Again, I'm just going to mention the meditation group in September, Dad's in Recovery group in October, and Mexico probably in February. Love you guys.